How's it going, folks? It's Easter Friday and I thought I'd take advantage of this public holiday to do a bit of a roundup at the front yard. We've had rain for the last couple of weeks on and off. Just a bit of showery weather, a bit of a storm here and there. One of them sort of knocked down the banana tree. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of a roundup in between bursts of rain and show you what's growing on. We'll start out here at the asparagus beds. These asparagus beds days may be numbered. I'm thinking of pulling these asparagus out and putting them in another little garden bed that I want to make up. I'll show you that in a minute. Just so we've got a little bit more wicking bed space. I mean, while they've done absolutely fantastic in there, we had a couple of flushes during spring and summer. Even now we're getting new spears coming through. I'll show you in a tick. But I really do think that these beds are better put to other plants like this chilli. This chilli's done phenomenally well in there. Give you a bit of a closer look. It's just absolutely packed with fruit. This is a cayenne pepper. This was harvested the other day. Some people came and took a couple of handfuls away. So, you know, I really do think faster producing or more crops that produce a lot more fruit wise would be better off in there, and these asparagus can go into a new bed. While they have been really good for us and given us a lot of spears, they're really not up there production wise for the amount of water and space they're taking up, so I think they might be better off somewhere else. I'll just show you the little spears we are still getting from them though. There's a nice little whitey purpley one. He's just not green because he hasn't had a lot of sunlight yet to green up, but you can see the size of the spears. I've just let them go now just so they can get a little bit more energy down into the crown. These ones here you can see I've nipped when they're a bit bigger just so they can throw off some branches as well. So I've like I said, been really chuffed, but that bed space I think could be put to some better use, maybe some egg plants or I don't know, something else in there. The other beds produced really well too. Over in the next bed we have the tromboncino, whoops, sorry about that, tromboncino I think is how you pronounce it. Zucchini, or the fruit of one anyway. This one here did a bit of a spiral, so he's more like a French horn I think than a trombone, but he's got a nice bit of size on him. Just looking at that head there, we're pretty much all growing this one for seed, and I was also told that the more mature fruit tastes like a butternut pumpkin. Other people call them butternut squash. So yeah, we're pretty much all saving this one to grow as mature as he can. In this bed here we also have one of Nathan's Mexican midget tomatoes. It's just been overrun by this zucchini, and we also have down in here, I noticed, some volunteer asparagus. So they're just seeds that have come off from the fern next door. I had to cut this one back because it was actually growing over this bed at one stage, so I'd say they've just come from some of those berries. With this zucchini, just one thing I'll mention, I did notice it was really mildew resistant until the rain started. The older leaves have seemed to be hit the worst. I did spray it once with the bicarb mix which is a fungicide, raises the pH level, makes it hard for the fungus to survive, or the mildew to survive. So it kept getting washed off, so I've just left it be, and I'll come out and lop these little leaves off. There's quite a few down here. These have died off over the last couple of days. I'll just lop them off. They're the oldest leaves on it. They come from the vine that produced that fruit. As for pests, well, we're still getting the 28 spot ladybug out here, so we'll just dispose of him quickly. And we're also getting loads of grasshoppers all through the patch, so they're causing a lot of damage as well on leaves and bits and pieces. On this next bed we have another pest, which I'll see if we can catch. He's a bean beetle, a bean bug. His offspring actually look like ants, so other predators leave them alone. If he'll come into focus. Oh, and he flew away. Those guys have been causing a bit of damage on the bean pods, but I'm not too worried about that. I mean, just look at the sheer number of them down in here. We have loads of these beans to collect seeds from for a green manure crop. What that means is just sowing the seeds, letting them grow till they start to flower, chopping them down and mulching them through the soil, or just chopping them and dropping them on top of the soil, and that just feeds the soil organic matter. So more than enough seeds for us. Also too, we were really enjoying the beans themselves. Not as tasty as the small little bush or climbing beans, the traditional beans, but chopping them up, throwing them in salads as small little sections, or putting them through stir fry, they were fine. They're actually very closely related to snake beans. If you know how a snake bean fruits, they sort of do the same sort of thing. Very similar looking flowers and leaves as well, actually. So pretty chuffed with the way that they've gone. Over the back here we have, that's the origin of the zucchini. Actually, if we look down in there, we have a couple of little fungus growing down in there, little mushrooms, so it's great to know that they're in there. I mean, mushrooms are a great way to turn organic matter into nutrients for the plants, and they have their own association with the roots of plants. I just saw down in here, that's one of the zucchinis that didn't quite make it, didn't get fertilised in time, so yeah, we have lost a couple like that. Actually, just quickly, down the front here, let's see if we can zoom out. Just quickly down the front here, as you can see, this zucchini's making headway into the lawn, but we do have another one, another trombone. This one though, I'm trying to shape to look like a saxophone. I've got a brick that I'm going to put under the end of that fruit there and see if I can bend him up. So over in the next bed we have Kira's bits and pieces. Well, it's really just a clump of marigold, a marigold hedge, and over the back there we have some of the Thai basil. So this stuff, we're still eating the leaves. It doesn't go bitter, it still tastes fantastic in curries and stir fries, but I'd say we have a couple of acres worth of seed from this thing. Loads of seeds on here, also loads of grasshoppers. I don't know if you can make them out, but they're jumping through the back of the bush. Around here we have another trombone forming zucchini. This one's a pretty impressive one. It goes from there, see if we can do this without making you too seasick, goes from there all the way down into that bed there. I've got him sitting on a stick just in the fork of a branch that I've stuck into the bed there, just to see how long he'd grow. He's done alright. This one at the front here, same thing, just a branch to hold the fruit up. This one here though, like a couple of others, got hit by the Queensland fruit fly, and I ended up picking him off the other day. He had a nice bit of size to him. He was around about 83 centimetres, I think that's about 32 inches in length, but the bulb at the end had been totally eaten out by the fruit fly. We chopped that off and we ate some of that in a curry. It went down fantastic, and the bulb went to the chickens. They finished off the gloop inside and the seeds and enjoyed that. Taste wise, raw, it tastes a bit like a very mild butternut pumpkin or butternut squash, depending on where you come from. So it'll be interesting to see how that other big one goes when it's mature. And just down in there, I'll give you a look at my nemesis. These guys are really loving our green garden. The smaller ones are doing most of the damage, but every now and then we come across one of these big guys, and they consume quite a bit. They love the corn out here, so I'm not too worried. I don't mind if they eat the corn leaves because it's pretty much all finished, but I'm going to try and catch him after this is done, and we'll go down and feed him to the chooks, I think. As for the corn itself, we had 2 lots of seed. We grew from 2 lots of seed this year. The sweet corn, wasn't too impressed with it, and this third lot came from a hardware store, punnet. I've left him on a little bit too long. He's getting a bit dimpled, but as you can see, I've had a taste test. I'm going to eat this after we finish filming. It tastes alright, nice and sweet, so they'll be used in tomorrow night's dinner, or except for the cob I'm going to munch on. But yeah, just not impressed with the sweet corn. That flint corn, or the Aztec corn, the coloured stuff, grew absolutely fantastically, but yeah, this sweet stuff, I just, can't get a handle on it. I'll try again next year. No, I'm not going to give up. Over in the next bed we just got some cane and some more Mexican midget, and over here we have the volunteer turmeric. It's going alright. I've already pulled a couple of sections out and used it in food. I think its problem is it's shaded by this Chinese elm. I've spoken to Pauline, our neighbour, and she said I can chop him back and use him as mulch, so we'll mulch it all up and put him through the compost cage. But yeah, this turmeric, I suppose it's doing alright. I think it'd like a bit more sunlight though. And just behind me here we have the banana. The banana's doing fantastically. For a plant that's been neglected, it was just popped in the ground here. It hasn't never been watered, and this front area gets very dry. We don't water it at all. I haven't mulched around it. It's sending up pups everywhere. I've got to look into the pups and see how they go. I know there's certain pups you use to propagate new clumps, and there's certain ones you don't use, so I'll be reading up on that, and a couple of them will be broken off and spread around the yard. I've also taken off a couple of leaves, had someone pick up some ghost chili plants the other day from a Facebook group. She was Filipino, or is Filipino, and she took a couple of leaves. She said she makes up a cake, a rice cake, and she wraps it in these leaves. So yeah, she's taking them home and going to have a crack with that, and if she wants some more she can come back and grab them. As long as she doesn't totally defoliate my bananas, I'll be pretty happy. Over here, the bunch, like I said, had a few storms and a bit of rain. This branch, or stem I suppose you'd call it, it came down, propped it up using a couple of tent poles. Not a good move because spiking it into the flesh has actually killed it, I think. The bananas still look alright. They'll be coming off in a minute. I'll be grabbing my funky new machete and giving it a bit of a bash, and they'll be hung up out the back. Just let them ripen up, and the rest of this tree I'll mulch up and I'll put around the base like my pop used to do, and hopefully that'll put a bit more nutrient back into the base of the plant. Here, the pigeon pea. It's gone. Well, it's been hacked back. I've left a bit of greenery on every plant. This stuff here is a perennial. It lasts for 4 to 5 years, I think up to 7 in our climate. Traditionally it's chopped, dropped to the ground and just used as a mulch layer to feed back the soil. I'm speeding up the process. I've chopped them off, taken it out the back when Chris and Alison, g'day, arrived the other day for a bit of a visit, and ran it through the mulcher, put it in the compost cage to make up some more compost, and just going to let these guys grow back. There's already a little bit of new growth on here. I think all this rain's helped, so I've done it at the right time in that respect. But the pile that's been hiding underneath it's been opened up. I'll come around for a bit of a gander at it. This pile is pretty much just lawn clippings and some pots that I emptied soil out from, and I've just been piling it up here with the hope that it'll break down. But most of you will already know this, but some of you may not. If you pile up lawn clippings like this and just leave them be, even though we've had, 3 inches of rain, around about 75 mil over the last week or so, the water doesn't penetrate very far. You can see there the green dry grass, not even 2 inches or 50 mil under the surface. The grass is dry. So it forms a bit of a matting over the top and just doesn't let rain penetrate. So what I should be doing to prepare this area for the garden that I want to plant out here, including the asparagus, is getting in here and giving this a good toss and a bit of a turn. I'll do that actually after I finish filming here and before I start editing. So this stuff starts to get some water in there. Your bacteria that do all the composting, or a lot of the composting, they need moisture to survive. So if the rain's not penetrating through there, not getting the moisture, they're not going to do their thing, and I'm just going to end up with a big clump of dead grass here. So I know there is decent compost underneath. Unfortunately at the moment it's filled with pigeon pea roots, but you know, you get that. So that's a little job I've got to get into. Just over there, volunteer spaghetti squash I think, and we've got volunteer pigeon peas popping up everywhere, and I'm just going to leave them as well. There's another couple down in there just for the next generation. So there you go, it's about to start raining, so I better hurry up. I got sidetracked and harvested the bananas and also dug over that little compost pile as well, so better wrap it up quickly. The harvest so far, yeah, the asparagus, blown away with our first year, what we've got out of it. This is the first year we've been able to harvest it. And those trombone zucchinis, they're looking pretty funky. Was pretty impressed by that green immature one that we've already taken off. So I'm really looking forward to that nice ripe meaty looking one. Hope it does taste like butternut. What else? The intro, you may have noticed a little bit of an intro on this clip. That's a logo that my eldest Maya, proud dad, drew up. Took it probably about 9 or 10 redraws to get it to where I'm happy, and I still left out the compost worm, but yeah, I think that'll do just for now. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the intro, the fact that there is one, and also the logo. Interested to see what other people's opinions are. What else? Snake bean giveaway. 10 names were drawn from the hat or the random number generator, and 8 lots of seeds have already been sent out. So if you want to see who won those guys, have a look in the description below. There'll be a link to the post on Facebook where I announced it. I'm still after 2 addresses, one from an Aussie and one from a person in the States. So if you guys could let me know your address, I'll get those seeds out straight away. Trying to think what else. During the week, I had someone make a request of me. They would like me to start up a Facebook group for Bits Out the Back. The junk mail just jumped at me. A request for a group for Bits Out the Back on Facebook. I really don't have the time to do it, I'm sorry, and I sort of like the blog style that I do now, where I have a page on Facebook and I post little bits to that from around the yard, and also interesting articles I think may help people. I get loads of questions through that page, and also through my own profile on Facebook, through emails, and through here on YouTube in the comments section, and also messages. And it really does, some days it can take a couple of hours to get through them all. I'm not being ungrateful at all. I started to do this just to show people how we grew things, and I don't mind helping folks out. You just do have to understand that sometimes it can take a while. Sometimes emails go into the spam box as well for some reason. So while I don't mind doing, you know, answering questions and helping you guys out, I do have a problem with starting another group. I've already got Share the Seed. There's also other groups that I'm a member of and I really should spend more time on, but I'm seriously not having the time available when I sit down at the computer to do it at the moment. I hope you do understand. I'm not trying to be a prat or, you know, up myself or anything. I just really don't have the time to do it, and if I'm going to do a group, I'd really like to put my heart and soul in it so I can help folks out. So, but I am very appreciative of all the feedback I do get, so I'll stop rabbiting on there. So if you do have any comments, questions or suggestions, pop them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you where I can. Other than that, if you do have any questions specific to aquaponics, the chickens, the wicking beds, the worms, check out the playlist that we do have here on our profile. Yeah, you might find something there that might help you out. But other than that, I'll let you guys go. Have a fantastic long weekend if you're here in Australia for Easter, and if you're overseas, have a fantastic weekend anyway. Cheers, folks.